Bob Mulholland, Democratic Party delegate for Joe Biden, long-term friend of the president, former member of the DNC, the Democratic National Committee. 100+ days to go. Good to have you on, sir. Have the Democrats left it too late? Good morning.
Yeah, good. It's 16 weeks, 3 weeks longer, 3 times the length of the UK elections. I'll leave it to the presidential historian to talk about the past, but I think you mentioned $50 million in the first 12 or 16 hours. And that's a good indication that the American people, particularly the Democrats, are ready to move forward with Harris. And we'll soon know that maybe in a few days she'll pick her or announce her VP. And I'll be in Chicago, and most of us will vote for Harris and whoever her VP is.
Okay. We'll look forward in just a moment, but if we look and rake through the ashes just a little bit, Mr. Mulholland, why did it take so long to come to this decision, do you imagine?
Oh, I think any president, and Johnson was a good example of that in '68, where he could have got reelected, but it took Johnson a while until Walter Cronkite said it's over in Vietnam. And I think President Biden, he's done a great job. Unlike the UK and Germany, who were in recession, America never went into a recession. The economy's doing well. But I think you mentioned COVID. I think one I read, he's been coughing a lot. And I think he probably finally said, you know what? I'm tired of the narrative of talking about me. Let's move forward. And that's what he did on Sunday.
Figure this for me, if you would. He won't run for president, but he will run the country. How does that stack up?
Well, actually, strategically, very good. The President Biden can run the country, and Vice President, soon to be our nominee, can run the campaign. Perfect. Because Biden was stuck with 2 jobs. Now he's got 1 job.
And if we look at the polls, which had been going against, of course, the Democrats, how confident are you that you can reverse that with, obviously, Harris and whoever else is on the ticket?
Well, Trump has spent millions of dollars and months of campaigning saying there's 2 old guys in the race, but the other guy, Biden, is the oldest. Well, guess who the old man is in this race? I think it's time for America to move forward with a new generation, and I think women will put Harris into the White House.
Have yourself a good time at your convention. Thank you for your time, Bob. Bob Mulholland, Democratic Party delegate for Joe Biden, long-term friend of the president, former member of the DNC, Democratic National Committee. Listening to that is Johanna Maska, who's head of the Press Advance podcast, former director of press for former President Obama. And as others are coming forward, Johanna, and saying that Kamala Harris is the future, yet no endorsement from President Obama. Why might that be? Good morning.
Good morning. Look, I think that the democratic process, the DNC already had a process. If anything had happened with President Obama during re-elect, it wouldn't have immediately gone to Joe Biden. There is a process in place. It goes to the delegates, and if it's after the convention, it would go to the DNC. So at this point, it has to go to the delegates. President Obama has always believed in a it made him stronger as a candidate to go through a primary process. As I understand, at this point, the DNC is planning a transparent process that they're going to meet with folks on Wednesday to start planning that transparent process to try to give people the opportunity to run for this. Obviously, it's very late. At that same point, we've still got 100 days. So we do have some time. We have some time for a process. I don't know that Kamala Harris will be the only one who runs.
Okay, but to my central point, Johanna, we hear that Bill Clinton has backed her, Gavin Newsom has backed her, yeah. Josh Shapiro, and still silence from Obama as to whether he would support his former VP. Why so?
At this point, President Obama doesn't have to endorse
no, but it's weird, isn't
immediately.
It is weird. We have former Democratic presidents coming out. Indeed, we have Hillary Clinton, for that matter. Other candidates. We have people who were supposedly in the running line.
But you remember...
Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
Hillary Clinton had come out for Joe Biden very immediately. She clearly wants this to be wrapped up. There are a lot in the Obama coalition that want there to be a process. It will strengthen Kamala Harris if she is the eventual nominee, and it will give other candidates the opportunity to run for this position because there are a lot of exceptional candidates. I would like to see Wes Moore get in. He's the governor of Maryland. He's an excellent candidate. He would be someone who I think would draw a lot of attention. But let's see how this shakes out. We have some time. I know everyone's freaking. It is short, but it's not so short. We can do this.
Lastly, and you could file this, Johanna, under he would say this, wouldn't he? President Trump is saying he's delighted. It's going to be even easier to beat Harris than it was to beat Biden. A comment on that, if you would.
Well, it'll be interesting to see whether he even wants to do this debate with ABC. I think that Trump wanted it to be Biden because he wants to stand alongside someone his own age, his own generation. Now he's going to have a different generation with a more inclusive message running against him, and I think it is going to be more difficult for him. But we'll see how he messages that he is a master of marketing, and unfortunately his results are very low. So he can market, but whether he actually comes out on top, we will see.